Okay, I think I trained with everybody that I needed to. It's time to begin episode P3. Yes. Alright, so just took a bit of time to go into training again and went through all the characters that I'm pretty sure are going to appear in this episode. That includes Junpei, Yukari, Ken, and Koromaru, and I also trained with Adachi as well, because just in case this ends up being shorter than I hoped to in this session. But anyways, let's just begin. Pretty excited. I gotta say too, out of all the characters,
the death of everything, but also the beginning.
Why are you here? But I was about to say, out of all the characters I tried, Junpei and Adachi are probably my more favorite characters to play. I think Adachi's my favorite character to play. He's very simple, but he's got quite a nice moveset.
People have filled the world, yet turned it into a void.
Ikutsuki, why are you here?
The only hope of salvation lies in ruin.
Sarcastic clapping.
You work in a zoo because that's one huge pile of shit you're pushing around. So, how'd that turn out for you, Dad? It doesn't matter now that you're dead as a doornail, does it? You wanted the world destroyed, huh? Isn't that right, you worthless pest? Fine, I'll do it. This shitty world with its shitty people and shitty lives will disappear, and I'll be the only thing left. After all, if the Father's fallen into darkness, then the sun must rise. Just kidding.
What nonsense.
What?
These constructs can only remain active within my red fog. Even then, they can only do so for a limited amount of time. If you have time to waste with worthless sentiment, hurry up and complete your preparations.
I'll be honest, I feel like we need a episode show instead of episode Adachi, or like put that as an addition too, because as of now, if you just played episode P4, you can have no idea who the fuck show is, really.
Ha! You've got no sense of humor. Keep up your whining and I'll have to kill you too.
Such impudence. Take them. They are your pawns.
Fake Labras, okay.
They're pretty well made. Fine, I've got the power I borrowed from you too. So now there's no way I could lose.
So I'm assuming this is taking place after the events of the P1 Grand Prix as well. This is the, like, before the P1 climax begins, maybe?
Well then, time to make like a tree and turn over a new leaf or whatever.
His jokes are almost as bad as mine. Because this must be when he's creating the shadow personas.
Huh. A puppet version of a puppet. I'll make sure you get the job done this time.
Yeah, I think I know. This is taking place before the red fog appears.
Now let's begin. For the sake of his world.
It's all of us. Kind of just realized too, there's no Shadow Risei. I think that's the only character. Oh, it's Shadow Adachi too. There's no Shadow Adachi. Can't make a shadow of the guy who is a shadow. May 5th, afternoon. I am at a Shadow Operative's lab.
I've finished going through Labras's personality module and control links.
Oh, no Shadow Fuka either. Fuka's voice echoes through the machinery-lined room where she works as an operator. It seems that it'll be a little more time until she's finished up her work.
I knew we could count on you.
I'm sorry that I asked you for such a big favor.
Oh no, I couldn't possibly stand by after something so important happened. But, is it really all right for me to be doing this? Aren't you all part of some kind of police organization now?
There's no need to be concerned. Even now that we've become the Shadow Operatives, this lab belongs solely to the Kirijo group.
The Shadow Operatives, a special unit under the direct supervision of the National Police Agency, organized to deal with supernatural cases that the normal police would be unable to respond to. In other words, cases dealing with shadows. This is one of the laboratories under the management of the Shadow Operatives. The purpose of this place is mainly to analyze evidence gathered in shadow-related activities. Analysis of shadow matters for scientific understanding and planning operations. Sometimes I just make up words when I'm reading sentences. I don't know why, but my brain just does that. Another objective is the maintenance, inspection, and service for anti-shadow weapons such as myself. Since I am a member of the Shadow Operatives and are classified as a weapon due to my mechanical nature, I periodically undergo maintenance at this facility. Directly after the inauguration of the Shadow Operatives, Mitsuru-san had a state-of-the-art packing case prepared to transport me. However, the one slumbering within the case is my sister, who is also our new teammate Labris, the 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon.
I finished investigating Labris's mobility systems. All I have to do now is reboot her OS and perform some final checks.
So we are in the perspective of Aegis right now.
Thank you. How is she?
She'd sustained some heavy structural damage, so I was worried, but thankfully none were critical.
Since my sister has been forced to push herself far beyond her limit, during the events the other day, her entire body has taken serious damage. I'm glad that she's okay. Fuka's words caused me to sigh with relief.
I see. And what did you recover from her memory?
I'm sorry. I searched through it, but I found no records that would lead to finding the one behind what happened. If we want to pursue him any further, we'll have to wait for a report from intelligence. But it seems that will still take some time.
I see.
I see Mitsuru's tighten her fist with that quiet utterance. The culprit is someone capable of manipulating the data in my sister's memory. The possibility that they would make the same mistakes as leaving a trace to themselves is extremely low. Even when one knows the outcome, people often feel indignant when the last bit of hope is crushed. It's understandable. Our ability to find out who kidnapped my sister has been completely stymied.
Then we have no clues to go on.
Don't be so hasty. We might get new leads from intelligence, right?
Ever since that attempted airplane hijacking, we've learned that the Public Safety Division has been making some disquieting moves. If we don't make a move soon, there's no telling what they'll do to take advantage of the situation. We have to find a lead before they do anything.
Though Akihiko-san knows Mitsuru for a long time, Mitsuru's expression remains stiff as he tries to console her. But that's only natural. The Shadow Operatives are still in a delicate position with regards to where we stand within the National Police Organization. As a seemingly suspicious group founded by an outsider and dealing with crimes outside the capabilities of the normal police force, we often are met with cold stares from the people who should be our fellow investigators while we're dispatched on cases. The logic of such actions elude me, but I cannot pretend that they do not exist.
I understand how you feel, Mitsuru-san, but we must solve one problem at a time. That is why we have gathered here today.
You're right. I'm sorry. Please work with me here in reviewing what information we already know.
Mitsuru implores us for assistance. Our gathering here at the lab today isn't just to hear about the results of Fuka's test on my sister. We've come to share and review the information we have to inspect the clues as closely as possible, to get the culprit as quickly as possible.
The person behind this case first stole Labris, the 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, while she was in transport.
Yes. The hijacking of the airplane you were on was a diversion used to conceal the theft of my sister, after which she was transported to Inaba.
Correct. The hijackers were subdued and captured, but we have reason to believe that their minds were under some kind of control.
Those who hijacked the airplane and transported the case had no memory of taking part in that crime. They did not recognize one another, had nothing in common, and were all ordinary citizens with no prior criminal records. They did, however, all claim in their testimonies that they saw red eyes. Though their interrogations are still ongoing, it seems that it would be long before they are released. With all these points taken into consideration, it becomes apparent that this is no ordinary crime.
The culprit waited until he arrived in Inaba to turn Labris on and fiddle with her memory. And then he threw her into the TV world, right?
Where one's heart and memories manifest themselves. As a machine, Labris was able to control these memories in great detail. In other words, the enemy used her in order to set a trap for us.
When we entered the television world in pursuit, we defeated her shadow and made indirect contact with the culprit.
That person revealed that his goal was to steal our personas by making us fight each other, which would weaken our hearts and turn our personas to shadows. Once he'd accomplished that, he would combine them all so we could have even more powerful shadows.
Everyone falls silent. The mysterious person's motive was to gather and unify shadows. This is all too similar to something that those of us gathered here will never forget.
Shuji Ikutsuki.
The culprit's speech pattern is consistent with Ikutsuki-san's mannerisms. His inability to use a persona matches him as well.
But that's not possible!
That's right. We've confirmed Ikutsuki's death.
Or maybe there's someone out there besides Ikutsuki who still thinks the same way he did.
Ikutsuki too.
If so, then the world we strive for is still far away.
Mitsuru sounds as if she is in agony. Shuji Ikutsuki, 3 years ago he became fascinated with the fall and tried to bring about the end of the world using shadows. To Mitsuru, he is also the adversary that robbed her of her precious father.
Yamagishi,
Yes.
when Labrys awakens, can you give her a summary of the case from 3 years ago? I'd like her to know what went on while she was sealed.
I understand.
Can't you just stick that data into her memory?
If we did that, it would just become a piece of data to her. She needs to be told about it in order for her mind to understand what happened.
Yeah, put it on a SSD and put it in her M.2 slot.
She's human through and through, huh?
Also, I noticed something when I was checking her memories. The makeup of Labrys's memory field is slightly different from Aigus's. Besides the memory area that she normally accesses, there seems to be a subnetwork of some sort.
She has 2 memory networks?
What? Damn it, she has more SATA slots than I do. Okay, I'll stop making PC jokes.
I think it was probably used to incorporate the feedback from her sibling units, but I still don't know for sure. That's why I believe it's safer to tell her in person.
All right, I'll let you tell her regarding Ikutsuki.
Oops,
I'm
my bad.
pressuring staff to hurry and review the information, including the newly discovered quarantine server at Ergo Research. We never knew about the server in question before now, because it had been cut off from the group's network. It most likely has information that normally would have never left Ergo Research, such as data on top-secret experiments.
Ikutsuki could be involved in this case. Mitsuru's worry and irritation may be because she senses that possibility. We can all understand the pain she must be in.
By the way, what was the logic behind that whole midnight channel thing?
It's still unknown, but we'll have to send people to Inaba again. We're going to hold a meeting at headquarters tomorrow to discuss countermeasures.
Suddenly, an alarm that notifies us of abnormalities goes off and reverberates throughout the lab. Mitsuru quickly uses a nearby control panel to contact the staff within the facility.
What's going on?
The surveillance system detected a rise in shadow readings. It's currently stabilizing around a level 3 alert, located in that town of Inaba.
Who is this? A new character? Purple hair maid?
What?
Looks like he's shown up already. That saves us the trouble of having to puzzle this out.
Yu-san and his friends are in danger. Mitsuru-san, please give the order to dispatch us.
All right, we'll leave at once. Yamagishi, leave Labrys to Kikuno and accompany us.
Oh, that's her, Kikuno, the maid.
I understand. Well then, I leave the rest to you, Kikuno-san.
Yeah, she never got a portrait, I think, back in P3.
Understood. Lady Mitsuru, everyone, please be careful.
I think she was mentioned, though, back then. One of Mitsuru's personal domestic assistants, or should I say maids, Kikuno answers. Kikuno and Mitsuru have a strong bond that of any ordinary servant and master, and she's another of the shadow operatives. Her words catch my attention for some reason. Please be careful, a very trivial expression of concern for our safety. Brushing it off as common courtesy would be simple, but I feel that she may be sensing something unusual regarding the situation that awaits us there. What could be causing this unease? Does Mitsuru know? No, that's why we're headed over there. A cryptic-ass JRPG dialogue. As I am trying to decide whether or not to look deeper into Mitsuru's state of mind, Fuka gets up from her operator's seat and beckons me over.
What is it? If we can put Labrys aside for a moment, are you going to be alright without having any maintenance done on you, I guess?
What do you mean?
I read the documents on your new equipment. At first I assumed it was referring to that large gun, but it's actually...
that. True. There have been no tests confirming that it is capable of being used in an actual combat situation. But we face a powerful foe this time.
Is it even possible? If even one thing were to go wrong...
Fuka's face clouds as she looks at me. Can't be confident that I'll be alright, and I'm unable to tell her a pleasant lie to calm her down. In any case, I can only pray that the situation that requires me to use my new equipment never arises. Both of us are tense as we prepare to depart. What?
Milady, a change of clothes has been laid out in your car.
New Aegis, fighter mode?
I see. Thank you.
I've also prepared Akihiko-san's favorite protein drink, and Fuka-san has been preparing a playlist suitable for a road trip in her room.
Okay, a Fuka flippin' SoundCloud artist?
Huh?
That will be all, Kikuno.
Very well. Pardon me.
As expected from Kikuno, she is amazingly considerate as a personal assistant should be. but she can be too thoughtful at times. We learned this for ourselves when she came to accept us as people who are precious to Mitsuru.
Let's start this over, shall we? Shadow operatives, let's mobilize.
Thanks to Kikuno, the tension in the air subsides a bit, but we cannot allow our attention to wander just now. Upon completing our preparations for departure, we immediately make our way to Inaba. Right, and this is where they get attacked and abducted by Sho. Rest in peace.
Why are we taking this car again, Mitsuru?
Akihiko grumbles from the backseat of the Shadow Operative's personal limousine. I'm not sure how to put this, but I find that his feelings are justified.
Don't question it, Akihiko. There was no time to prepare a vehicle with the same equipment. Speaking of appearances, are you gonna wear that again?
Sure. There's a chance that we'll have to fight after all. These clothes give me the flexibility I need.
Impressive, Akihiko-san. You never change.
None of you change. You guys all wear the same outfit. This entire game.
Still, to think that the culprit would make a move so soon. We've completely lost the initiative.
Indeed. We need to begin taking measures right now. I only hope no danger comes to Narukami and his friends.
Mitsuru seems deeply agitated. During the car ride, she seemed distracted. At times, she would have flipped through the thick file in her lap, only to suddenly give an order to a subordinate. At other times, she would stare intently at her watch as if lost in thought. Her usual regal composure is gone.
Mitsuru-san, why don't we just ask them to cooperate with us?
I agree. They seem pretty strong.
No, they're still young. If I asked for their assistance, it would waste time better spent in school. Worse yet, it would put them in danger. I don't want anyone else to have to go through that anymore.
I understand how you feel, but they don't seem like the kind who'd listen. We were the same way back then.
Mitsuru falls silent. It's likely not a mistake to think that the sudden spike in shadow activity this time is related to the events of a few days ago. It has become apparent to everyone that another dangerous battle is about to begin.
We have new information. Kikuno sent me a message. I tasked Kikuno with reviewing Ergo Research's quarantined server, but it seems new evidence has come to light regarding Ikutsuki, who we discussed in our earlier conversation. According to the report, it seems Ikutsuki was performing an experiment on his own in the lab directly after the explosion.
Okay.
It's unknown if this is related to our current mission, but there was a record of a plume of dusk being used in the experiment.
A plume of dusk.
A plume of dusk, an object that blurs the line between matter of information and is fitted into the anti-shadow weapons like myself. It forms the core of our personality modules and is what allows us to control personas even though we are machines.
So, what are the details of this experiment? Nothing good, I bet.
Ikutsuki was...
He had a twin. Imagine. The limousine's engine suddenly roars, drowning out further conversation. It seems the road we are taking has begun to climb a steep hillside. As the car takes a winding road up the slope, I can look down through the window and see lush trees along the mountainside. For a moment I thought I sensed a shadow reading. Could it have just been my imagination?
Yamagishi, tell me our current location.
One moment. I'm looking it up now. We're currently in Inaba Pass. We're almost at the target coordinates. What is this?
Okay, Fuka with the triple PC setup.
What's wrong? An ambush?
What's happening? Driver, what's going on? Answer me! This...
It's just like during the hijacking.
Igus!
On it! A barrier!
Are we trapped?
To be continued. You know what that car crash reminded me of? Well, I didn't play this game on camera, but Fruit of Grisaya, Amane's route, with the school, what was it, like basketball club, some sort of like club. The car was like drifted off the side and then fell into the mountainside, and then all the students were stranded. Okay, so that's it for Mitsuru and the gang for now. We don't get to see them for a while. Alright, and now we get to begin with Yukari and Ken. Excellent. Let's do... It doesn't really matter, actually. They only have two of them. Let's do Ken first. The honor student. I can't speak today or any day. Oh shit, he's a soccer kid. Oh my god, he's so cool.
Man, you were amazing.
Thanks for cheering for me.
You're a real hit with the ladies.
I'm gonna get going for today.
Okay, you better be this good next time, too.
Leave it to me.
Oh shit, it's the old dorm.
I'm home, Koromaru.
There's some time until dinner, so I decide to leave the dorm again with Koromaru. This Gakukan dormitory is where we live. It was briefly closed after Mitsudo and the others graduated. All the equipment from a few years ago was removed, of course, but with the increase in students at Gakukan, they decided to reopen the dorm. I applied for a room as soon as I heard. The reason I did was because of Koromaru. He had been in Aigus's care, but at this dorm he'll be allowed to live with me. Also, to be honest, I felt that living here let me stay close to my companions who are fighting even now. Back then, everyone took turns walking Koromaru. Now it's my job. The path to the nearby Naganaki shrine is Koromaru's usual route. He's quite old for a dog, but as he trots along at his usual pace along our usual path, it makes me think for a moment that all the fighting back then was just a dream. Only when I'm watching Koromaru walk like this can I forget everything and feel a little at ease. Yeah, it's been what, 3 years, right? So, yeah, 3 years is quite long for a dog. We pass through the gateway at the entrance and step onto the shrine grounds. Since it's nearly sundown, there's nobody but us in this serene atmosphere. I sit down on a bench and sigh to myself. Koromaru notices though and immediately rushes over to nuzzle my leg.
It's nothing, Koromaru.
Even when I'm saying it, I'm sure Koromaru can see through my words. Can't understand him in the same way I can, but even I can tell what he's thinking. I pet him as he looks up at me with a worried whine, and I put my hand in my pocket to pull out. Oh, I was like, is he gonna pull out a snack? The Shadow Operative's badge that Mitsudo had given me. Koromaru wears the same badge on his collar.
Even if she gave me this, I know it's just for show. I bet everyone else is working hard right now.
This morning I got a call from Sanada-san for the first time in a long while. Seems he'd just come back to Japan from a year-long training journey. Wandering the world. I knew he was some kind of person who would put himself through anything in order to get stronger, but this is the sort of thing you only hear about in stories. Sanada told me that he had gone to see Mitsudo directly after his return to the country. I had been immediately dispatched to an emergency. He's currently busy with that, so he just said he would tell me more about his trip some other time. I know that being a shadow operative must be tough, but he seemed so excited when talking about them. So it's like I get these pent-up feelings inside.
I'm a member too, you know.
A member, yes, but only a part of the secondary unit that only gets called out in extreme situations. Being part of a special suppression unit has a cool ring to it that I like. But the official shadow operatives are each given a unique number. For example, I guess is unit number 5? We don't have that, we're just auxiliary members. I haven't been called to action yet, and I doubt I ever will be after I graduate high school. After all, I did promise Mitsudo that I would try to live out my childhood as much as I could.
I'm just for show too.
I'm following that promise to try as much as I could. I've been acting like a child on the surface, an average middle school student, studying, helping out the club activities, and even taking part in the student council. But I hadn't officially joined any clubs, and the reason why is because I asked Mitsudo to call me for help if she had ever needed me. I know that no organization under the police would be able to command an underage person, let alone someone in middle school. I'm only a shadow operative for show, and only a child for show. If this continues, I won't know when I'll ever be able to come back to who I really am.
Making my life my own is actually pretty hard. Sometimes I lose sight of what I'm supposed to be doing.
True. Very sound a very sound statement for a lot of young people these days. I think back on the words left by the person who saved my life. I thought I'd come to understand them at one time, but as time passed, other emotions began to rear their heads.
It's completely dark now. We should head back home, Koromaru.
I wonder if I ever will be left behind like this. Would things actually be better if I just forgot about everything? Or could I live with myself if I had the power to fight but did nothing with it? I've been thinking a lot about that. Stand up on the bench and look across the dark, quiet temple grounds. I won't reach an answer just by thinking about it. I know that, but at that moment... Buddha? Koromaru suddenly barks at me. Okay, that was a really bad joke. It's been a while since I heard him bark like this. He's been getting more and more mellow these days. What's that sound? Some rhythmic noises approaching from above. The wind becomes stronger and the trees around the temple begin to rustle. It's divine intervention.
That's...
Oh my god. Is that you? Jesus, son? I look up into the sky and a bright light turns on high above. As my eyes adjust, I see a previous hidden black helicopter in the otherwise pitch black sky. It's like something out of a movie. Is it the military? No, that can't be right. As if to answer my doubts, a searchlight streams down, pinning shadows to the ground. Something happened, that's my first thought. I don't know why, but for some reason I sense elation rising up through my body.
Let's go, Koromaru.
I grip my Shadow Operative's badge tightly, then thrust it back into my pocket as I take a deep breath. I run towards the helicopter. To be continued. I like how he automatically assumes it's Mitsuru's helicopter. He's like, oh yes, the call to adventure. Alright, Yukari's next. Alright, what's Yukari doing? Becoming a flippin' movie star?
Here we go! Feathered chain! Phoenix Rangers!
Featherman victory! So, you come to fight me, Featherman!
Huh. Merlion, the evil forces have fallen! Stop here!
How dare you oppose me? Minionlings, get them!
Minionlings? That's me. I'm the minion.
No!
Merlion, prepare for justice!
Don't be so sure.
Good hit. Here we killed them all.
Everyone, I've had enough of this! Ultimate arrow! It's over!
And cut!
Perfect. What a take.
Thank you very much. Well done. That was really great. Can somebody get wardrobe, please? No, there was something else. I think that's a wrap.
There's this anime that's running currently in the... what is this? This is the winter season. It's called The Red Ranger.
Let's take a 10-minute break.
It's called The Red Ranger is reborn in like another world, basically. It just reminded me of that. The fucking Heishin, the transform animation and all that. It's so ridiculous. I love it. With the fucking sound effects. Okay, so Yukari is the Pink Ranger. But like, isn't the Red Ranger usually the protagonist? But she had all the speaking lines. God damn. When the director calls this out, the tension in the area dies away. I make my way to the simple tent used as our break room and take a sip of my drink. The scenes for today are done.
I'm tired.
You're on a roll, Featherpink.
Huh? Do you think so?
The directors had nothing but good things to say, too. Looks like this will have a positive effect on your main job. Speaking of your next shoot.
My main job? My real job is supposed to be studying for college. I wipe the sweat from my brow as my manager excitedly tells me about the schedule for my next gig. I'd always had an interest in fashion, so I started taking modeling jobs as a way to earn some pocket money. It's pretty tough since I've had to do things like pose in the middle of winter in just a t-shirt, but thankfully I've been able to get a steady flow of commissions now. This reminds me, like, I was browsing Reddit at work one day and there was like this post on, I think r/interesting, when I was going through like my home like tab, and it was about how these photographers were taking a picture of a model that was, I think, a certain degree of meters underwater, like the lowest. It was like it was like a world record basically of a picture being taken at the lowest depths of the ocean possible, and it was just this lady in, I think, cloth, and I was like, damn, how is this lady who's wearing no like PPE basically and cloth hasn't like frozen to death going that deep into water, and it's just all for a picture, you know, like this isn't for some sort of National Geographic documentary, it's not for some sort of like archaeology discovery, it's not for like anthropological reasons, it's just it's for a photo, it's for like a magazine. And I'm just like, damn, you know, it really kind of shows just what we do sometimes for entertainment, or what we do for fashion, I guess, or, you know, for the idea that surrounds that. Anyways, moving on. Trying to manage both classwork and my job as a model was already hard enough when my manager applied for an audition for a live action show without my consent, claiming that I should broaden my work horizons. When I mentioned I had practiced archery in high school, it really got their attention. It all made sense to me when I learned that Feather Pink's weapons would be a bow and arrow though. As a result, I ended up as a protector of Earth in a kids' superhero show, starting this year. While my acting work makes use of different expressions and my modeling career lets me dress up in a lot of different clothing, it kinda makes me feel like I'm changing who I am too. It's insanely busy, but it's fulfilling and fun, and yet...
What's wrong? Something troubling you?
Oh, not really.
I checked my cell phone, but Mitsuru-senpai still hasn't sent me a response. I have tomorrow off, so I emailed her asking if she'd like to spend some time with me and go shopping. She's been contacting me less and less often recently, and when she does, it's because of shadows. I am one of the shadow operatives, a group established by Mitsuru-senpai. Damn, Yukari's got like 4 different gigs. She attends college, she's a model, she's an actress who's part of a pretty much like a Japanese kids show, which is pretty much known all over Japan in this world. And she's was a college student, actress, model, and shadow operative. Yeah, you know, just your average college student. I understand that she wants us all to be able to have normal lives, and she said that she wouldn't hesitate to ask for our help if she ever needed it, but it seems to me that she was taking everything on herself. The attitude didn't satisfy me, so I forced her to add me to her team. Unlike Aigis and the other official members, I'm part of a special unit that only gathers in emergencies, trusted with immediately subduing shadows by force. What did she call it? The auxiliary staff? Something like that anyways. It's wonderful that there have been no situations that called for us to be dispatched, and even if something like that did arise, the official shadow operatives are all excellent. No need to worry about with the likes of Akihiko and Aigis around, but...
Is it really that hard to just send back a reply? It's Golden Week, for God's sake.
What's this? Don't tell me you've got some boyfriend trouble.
Yukari's about to be like, well, my boyfriend's kind of dead. He like sacrificed himself a long time ago.
Oh, no, it's nothing like that.
We normally talk when we see each other, but I've never doubted my friendship with her. Still, when things remain unsettled, it's unsatisfying. We have to get on our case about taking everything all on herself again. Huh? There's something loud going on outside.
What? What's this helicopter doing here? Is there a helicopter in this shooting script?
Huh?
As the sound gets closer, the tent walls and roof begin to undulate with an intense wind. When I rush outside, I see the crew all looking up and causing a commotion. I like how they use the same, they use the same still as they did for Ken. The same helicopter. Wow, it's the same sky too. When I look up, there's a black helicopter descending towards the ground, dangling a rope ladder. The lady in the pilot seat sends me and gestures towards the ladder. Oh, at that moment it all becomes clear. I only know one person who would do this.
I'm glad she came, but she's making too big of a scene.
It's Kikuno, right? I'm completely astounded by the utter absurdity of the situation, but before I know it, I'm already running towards the ladder. In her costume, too. I see, and that's why canonically in that cutscene, it's Yukari and Ken in the helicopter with Labris. And now we get Labris' story, and... Junpei's story, okay. How long is Junpei's story? Junpei's got 4, whereas Labris has got all... Let's do Junpei first, then we'll do Labris, so we get all the P3 cast. Meanwhile, Junpei's, baseball coach.
it's obvious who the game's MVP will be. The man whose Grand Slam won it in the ninth, Junpei Iori. First off, I'd like to congratulate your team on winning the WBC.
Thank you very much.
What was going through your mind as you entered that batter's box for that last at-bat?
My only thought was how I would lead my team to victory.
Ah, so it's your great focus that led to this result. Still, that was an amazing home run.
All I can say is I got lucky with that hit.
That swing at the critical moment, I got so excited I almost forgot to give the play-by-play.
The ball went a lot farther than I thought it would. I'm very pleased with the result.
Wow, you're so modest. No wonder they call you the ace slugger, Junpei. By the way, is there anyone you'd like to dedicate this victory to?
Well, I'd like to dedicate that Grand Slam to my precious girl who's always supported me through thick and thin. I know that I can be a burden on you. I'm not the greatest, but will you marry me?
Yaso Inaba, end of the line. Yaso Inaba.
Sorry, sir, but this is the end of the line.
Oh, I was dreaming.
Oh man, Chidori. Rest in peace. Thanks so much for waking me up right at the best part. I step off the train at an unfamiliar station in the countryside with a little resentment towards the station worker. Let's see here. Man, that's a tough name to make out. How am I supposed to pronounce that? Well, it's written out beneath the kanji.
Oh, it's Yaso Ina, but wait, where is this? Huh. Let's see what the shuttle train schedule is.
I check the train schedule and feel myself slipping into despair. Seriously, there aren't any more trains leaving the station. That was the final train for the night.
I've really done it now.
Great feeling that I only hoped for a moment ago withers away at once. What the hell, man? Why'd this happen? Let's see, I worked a full shift at my job today and the kids had a game after that. And then... Riverbed Baseball Ground.
You'll be a hero. Are you gonna try for a home run?
It's the afternoon before a long holiday weekend. Normally I'd be busy with my part-time job and top secret missions, but on days off I would transform into an excellent coach for a boys' baseball team. This is our first game in a while, so I want to make sure these kids win somehow. The game's coming to an end and we only one run away from tying up the score. I'm talking with Goro, our cleanup hitter, who's getting too much of a swelled head over his position to actually focus on the game. Even if he could get in a clean hit, he'll never be able to do it like this.
Of course I am. You made me the cleanup hitter after all. I'm making this a home run, no matter what.
Watch your mouth, kid, or you'll scare the ball away. Now listen up. Don't try to act cool. Just play like you normally would. The team's counting on you.
Goro stops boasting and turns towards the bench. The other kids are cheering him on at the top of their lungs.
Goro, keep your eye on the ball. You can hit it. The pitcher's totally freaked out.
See, a hero doesn't just hit homers all the time. Even if you mess up, there's guys behind you waiting to help. Now loosen up and do your best.
Gotcha.
Goro's face loses the gruff facade he had been wearing and begins to focus. There we go. That's how it should be.
Thanks, Junpei.
Hey, you're supposed to call me Coach, a screwball. Make sure you stay loose.
I finish off by giving the bat a hard smack on Goro's butt with my bat before sending him off into the batter's box. I just killed Goro right there. Gave him the smash ultimate. Goro keeps his eye on the ball and lands a direct hit, sending the ball flying out past the outfielders. Alright, we're tied. Goro stands on second base with a huge grin, waving to us. Let me guess, the helicopter? Oh, okay, no helicopter. But we ended up losing in the end, and all the kids cried. I cried too, of course. What the fuck? Oh well, it happens. At least the kids have grown closer as a team, so that's good enough for me.
That was so close, guys. You almost won. All right, let's start practicing again tomorrow. Now, I want you all to remember this at least. If you all work together, you'll never be beat. Okay, we're done for today.
After the game, I said some final words as their coach. If you all work together, you never be beat. That was that. Man, even I think that's an awesome speech. Oh yeah. Thinking back on it now, I'm honestly proud I came up with it. I bet the kids are still carrying that moment around in their heads.
Yeah, I'm such an awesome coach. It's really worthwhile volunteering for a kids team even after working the night shift.
How is he gonna go from this to taking the train to Inaba without being contacted by Kikuno? Because I'm still underage, I'm not an official member of Mitsuru's shadow operatives, but I've been playing a very active part in some of the investigations. I get sent out from time to time to check out the scenes where low-key shadows readings have been detected. Yeah, the missions are pretty plain, but I'm satisfied with them in my own way. Then again, when I do get sent out, most of the time it's nothing at all. But just like I told the kids, it's about putting out a consistent effort every day. That goes for anything. It's not like I get these missions every day, so in the meantime I spend a bit of time at my part-time jobs. Even though it's kids' baseballs, renting fields, and paying for rides to away games gets surprisingly expensive. I gave up on that dream, but I love teaching baseball to kids. It's really fun.
Man, it's like I'm finally starting to enjoy my youth after all this time. Crap, I'm starting to feel sleepy.
And that's what leads to where I am now. Not only did I completely miss my stop, but I can't even get back home. I'm in a tight squeeze here. There's no way Junpei fucked up this bad, and that's how he gets involved in this mess, is because he missed his stop.
How did I just fall asleep like that? I can't believe I slept through so many stops either. Seriously.
Yeah, which is funny because the next time we see Junpei, at least in Inaba, is when he's in the same room with his shadow and crossed up Akihiko. I decided to leave the station for the time being. There's some basic vending machines outside and nothing else. That's actually kind of impressive. Crap, this is really bad. If something doesn't happen soon, it looks like I'm gonna end up sleeping outside.
What the heck am I gonna do now? I guess I better call somebody and hope.
I pull out my phone to call up anyone I can think of so I can get a ride out of here, but surprise, it's not on. I pray that the battery didn't die while I was on the train and hold the power button and it turns on. Nope, the battery's in the red. I might not be able to make a single call at this point. Things never turn out well when they're this bad, but suddenly my ringtone echoes out in an empty space.
Oh. Hello?
Finally! Hey, Junpei, what were you doing? I've been calling you this whole time.
It's Yuka-tan. How long has she been trying to call me? Maybe she got dumped by her boyfriend and needs a shoulder to cry on or something. Wait a minute, her boyfriend's dead. Wait, does she even have a boyfriend? She sounds really pissed for some reason, but she's almost always like this after all. Based to Junpei. The most important thing right now is charging this phone.
Oh, hey, Yuka-tan. Can we not talk about that now? My battery's about to die. Hey, what's that noise in the background? It's super loud.
Your phone's about to die? What's wrong with you? Mitsuru-senpai, Akihiko, Fuka, and Igus have gone missing. We're in a helicopter to find them.
They're missing? A helicopter?
We've looked in tons of places for them, but we can't find them. Anyway, where are you right now, Junpei?
Hold on a second, this doesn't make any sense at all. Mitsuru-senpai and the others went missing and now Yuka-tan is in a helicopter trying to find them? This is too much info all at once. I turn around to check the name of the station again.
Somewhere called Yasoina something? I fell asleep on the train and missed my stop, and now I'm stuck out in the boonies.
You're at Yaso Inaba Station? Why?
Huh? Why is she so surprised? I don't even know why I'm here. Okay, fine, it's because I slept through my stop.
Crap, Yuka-tan, the battery's going.
Fine, just wait there. We'll come get you. I'm with Kenkun and Koro-chan, and we've got Labras here too. She's Igus's sister.
Huh? What's a Labras?
Huh? What was that? Who? Well, whatever. I'll just find a convenience store and...
The phone died. I consider what I should do now, but then again, I'm worried about Mitsuru-senpai too. I'll just have to buy a cheap charger at a gas station or something and call Yuka-tan back. What are you talking about, Junpei? Just fucking use a wall plug at the... at like a public space or something. Just be super discreet about it. It's maybe out in the boonies, but there's gotta be a convenience store open around here. I start walking around the road in search of an open store. After walking for some time, I finally see a familiar lighted sign out in the distance. Junes? Oh, okay.
Nice, just what I wanted. I'm starving too, so maybe I should get myself something to eat.
I think it would be pretty cool if Junpei runs into Nanako, who's gathering ingredients for dinner. He's like, "Who are you?" And then, "Oh, I'm Junpei. You want to play baseball, young girl?" Finally, with some relief over finding a store, my step grows lighter. That's when the lights ahead suddenly go out. What?
Don't tell me they're closed. What kind of convenience store isn't open 24/7 these days?
Wait, but why did this happen now? Because canonically in the movie, the CG movie, it turns red when Junpei's trying to order a drink outside of the Yasuo Inaba station. So this is conflict of, well, this isn't canonical, I guess. Doesn't matter, I'm being too picky. It's not just the convenience store, all the street lights and the lights in the houses have all gone out as well. And some of the people that I saw inside the store have all vanished too. And more strange, I didn't get pitch black out. Everything's illuminated in a hazy red light. And is this fog?
What the hell?
There's something familiar about the sight of this town suddenly falling silent. It's not quite the right call. Right to call it nostalgic, but it's just like that crazy thing that should have stopped 3 years ago. The dark hour. Talk about deja vu. First time I experienced the dark hour when I was in the convenience store. Akihiko-senpai rescued me that time.
Oh, there you are, Junpei.
A voice from behind me makes me turn around. I see a girl dressed all in pink. Is that Yuka-tan? What's gone into her? She's dressed rather odd, but there's no mistaking her voice. Yuka-tan stops a short distance away from me and glares. She looks pissed. Is it because I left the station after she told me to wait there? Ugh, even then she seems way too angry.
Hey, Yuka-tan! I'm making an effort at least, so... But hey, Mitsuru-senpai's gone missing? What's going on?
Damn, she's really pissed. Steady, Junpei, okay. When you're pitching to a real hard case, you need to throw outside the strike zone. Just to test the waters. Throw them off their game and see how they react, right? Yeah, but genius.
So, you look great, huh? Is that your, feather pink outfit? Are you doing an autograph tour out here? Come meet the Feathermen.
I tried throwing my best curveball, but she still looks just as mad. Oh, crap.
You never shut up, do you? You're nothing but a minor character. A mook, a minion, a loser. Just die and let the world have your body back?
Hey, what? Aren't you being crueler than usual?
She called me a minion.
It's time for your punishment. Bring on the ring!
That's right, I'm a minion. Alright. Shadow Yukari. Oh great, we got this animation back too. Yuka-tan suddenly raises one hand as she delivers that cheesy line. With that, 4 red pillars fall from the sky and stab into the ground around us, forming a fighting ring. I don't know what's going on, but this suddenly feels really dangerous. I place my bag on the ground and I then pull out my favorite bat and take a cautious stance.
You're a quick learner for an idiot. No wonder you're a member of the Shadow Operatives.
I look around and search for the source of that voice and see a television dangling from a telephone pole with, oh, what is that? A round body, a goofy hat, a cape, and a cane? Is this some kind of station cartoon mascot that I don't know about? He's saying something about a General Teddy when... That's his name? And why would a TV be hanged from a pole like that? Actually, yeah. So I was doing some research into Japan because that's one of my goals for 2025, and when I was doing some research on the different cities, it's pretty interesting to see that most of the cities in each of the prefectures have their own local mascot, like an actual cartoon character that represents kind of what that city is known for. It's pretty interesting. So it's like you just have all these mascots that represent the different areas around Japan. It's like, well, we don't have that here. I don't know if I want a mascot for my city though.
Who the hell are you? I don't know what's going on, so you better explain yourself. If this is some prank show, it's not funny.
You really are a yappy idiot. Now let's begin Operation World Destruct... I mean, the one-on-one P1 Climax!
P1 Climax?
I'm not in the mood to drag this out, so I'll just give a short rundown. The rules are simple. Win and you get to move on. Lose and you're stuck here.
Huh? You mean I have to fight Yuka-tan?
Oh, you really are a pain in the ass. If you're not gonna do this, then hurry up and die. Here we go, Persona!
A gust of wind blows and I recognize Yuka-tan's persona before me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Not only are we fighting, but we're doing it with our personas? This doesn't make any sense, and I don't even have my evoker with me. When I look back at Yuka-tan, she's already got her bow drawn and pointed at me. Oh man, she's completely ready for this.
Whoa, hold on, Feather Pink. We can talk this out. I mean, you shouldn't be pointing that at people. Ah!
My desperate pleas in vain, and Yuka-tan shoots an arrow at me with no hesitation. I manage to dodge away just in time. Nice aim. I mean, wait.
Stop moving around, Junpei. Just give up now and let me kill you.
What the hell did I do to deserve this? It looks like I'm just gonna have to run. While avoiding the arrows raining down on me, I started a mad dash towards the train station.
Ow! What the heck?
That's what I said! Only the victor can leave the area. Now hurry up and get this fight started!
I reach out to where I hit something, and sure enough, there's an invisible wall there. Guess I can't go beyond these red pillars. Does this mean that I'm in serious trouble here?
I hope you're prepared. Face me, evildoer. You're no match for better pink. Strike out batter.
Strike out batter? What the hell does that mean? Did I get promoted from a generic bad guy to a villain out of the blue? Well, I guess I'll just have to fight a bit and pray that it's enough to knock Yuka-tan back to her senses.
Ugh. Desperate times call for desperate measures. How dare you, Featherman! I, Lord Junpei, will strike you down!
Oh shit, Lord Junpei? That's right, I command no castles. I father no sons. Alright, Junpei's got a sick moveset because you can combo his strong attacks. Alright, let's do this.
Try this for here! Try this for size!
Do this.
Now, will they go for the kill?
That was kind of a perfect dodge too.
Oh, this macho glory!
Alright, Yukari's about to die. We just killed Yukari. Hope you're happy. Easy.
The Mook wins! Keep that up and keep winning!
Yeah, Junpei's got a pretty sick moveset, especially with his persona abilities. He's got like instant fire, he has like a dive bomb attack, and his bat swings are quite quick in fact, so yeah, he's got a pretty solid kit. Just like Akihiko.
Who are you calling a mook? Wait, Yuka-tan!
We just broke her ribcage with that final attack. The red pillars shatter and Yuka-tan suddenly starts melting away like a black piece of candy. Just then, what looks like golden grains of sand fly up into the air and flow across the sky. That costume guy on the monitor disappeared. Does that mean the invisible walls I ran into are gone now? Maybe.
What was that just now? It wasn't a dream, right? I slept a ton on the train after all.
I pinch myself and look around. Ow, the lights are still out in the city and there's no one around. Could this really be the dark hour? That way that Yuka-tan disappeared seems familiar too.
Was that a shadow?
Then, was that a fake Yuka-tan? The convenience store lights went out and right around midnight, I think past midnight, it reminds me of the dark hour. That was our battlefield 3 years ago.
Is this... Did the dark hour come back?
That's the red hour. The stroke of midnight, the world seemingly stopped in time. The world becomes a place where only persona using people like us can move around. During that time, people disappear and shadows show up instead. Normal people don't even notice about that this time exists. At the very least, the situation sure looks a lot like the dark hour.
But wait a sec. How'd I use my persona without an evoker?
Those with potential like us are able to summon personas by resolving ourselves to death. But in order to acquire the trigger for such resolve, we usually use those things called evokers that are shaped like guns. But during that fight, I was able to summon my persona Trismegistus just by thinking about it in my head. This feels like it's more dangerous than the dark hour. If that's the case, then could the disappearance of Mitsuru and the rest be related to this phenomenon?
Is that General Teddy guy behind this? We'd better step barefully.
That costume dude told me to keep winning, but I don't know anything about this town. Well, just standing around here isn't going to do me any good, so I guess I should head back to the station for now. That's where the real Yuka-tan told me to wait.
Let's see here. Which way was it?
I start walking back the way I come, but something's obviously wrong. I mean, I don't think it took me this long to get from the station to the store, and it might just be because of the fog, but the street poles and street looks distorted. A maze that changes every time that you look at it, that in itself reminds me of the past. Oh, that's Rise. Was that a girl who needs help? Somebody might be getting attacked by something similar to that monster Yucatan. I mean, that monster that looked like Yucatan. If that really was a shadow, then there's no way I can ignore this. I'm a shadow operative's lethal weapon after all. I look towards where I heard the sound coming from and see a giant shopping center like one you'd find in the suburbs. It says Jeunesse. It sounds like Rise because Rise was around here.
Oh, hey, I know that store. Every day's great.
I don't remember the place from a moment ago, but I'm positive that I heard a girl scream come from there. She needs me to rescue her.
Hang on, I'm coming! Shadow Operative Junpei Iori is on the scene!
I force open the stuck automatic door with my hands and almost trip over a number of things when I run into the building. Like what, coffins? No way he meets up with fucking Rise. Alright. But what if he ran into Elizabeth? That would have been cooler. Okay. We still have enough time. Should be able to knock out Labrys' story too. Yeah. Should be able to. Her dream. Oh god, Yume.
Where am I?
Blue skies and azure ocean spread out before my eyes. A gentle breeze brushes my cheek as I stand on a blindingly glistening beach. The sun shining from high above. The sound of the waves is calming.
What am I doing here? Wasn't I going through maintenance at Mitsuru-san's place?
I retraced my memories with a hint of bewilderment. Because I had been severely damaged in the recent battles, I was to undergo full repairs to the laboratory in the Shadow Operative's facility. I was placed into a protective case, and Fuka explained that was what was going to happen while Aiga stood nearby.
Oh, this must be a dream then.
I vaguely remember the sensation. It's similar to something I've experienced a number of times before. Fuka said that she would shut down my consciousness during maintenance, thus I shouldn't be able to dream. Is this a random phenomenon occurring during my reboot process?
I'm dressed like this again.
I'm wearing the uniform of Yasogami High. My arms are human. Since what's in one's heart can be reflected in dreams, this must be one of my desires. Still, I know it's nothing but an illusion. I understand and I won't deny it any longer. This isn't really an appearance that I wanted to recall so soon after what happened yesterday. But it seems to me, deep inside my heart, it won't let me be that way. Still, as I gaze at the scenery, I eventually stop caring. I take a step towards the pier that just juts out from the beach and then turn my attention to my internal GPS.
Guess there's no use doing something like that in a dream.
I don't need my GPS to know what this place is. It's where I hid a certain wish in my heart some time long ago.
It's so beautiful. If this really is a dream, maybe I can keep going.
Well, if this is a dream, that white dog, Snowy, should have appeared. Just while I think that, the pier under my feet crumbles and disappears without a sound. Just like that, the azure water swallowed me. Hello, help me, I am under the water. The sun's light becomes dim, but I feel no anxiety. A mysterious sensation envelops me as if everything is near me and I'm connected with everyone. Eventually, when the feeling of floating becomes stronger and I lose all sense of up and down, the sea changes into a field of countless lights in the dark. Ah yes, that's how I describe...
Now, where could this be?
That's how I describe waking up.
It seems I have an odd guest. Oh?
Okay.
You're that misrepresent. No. Press stand? Ah, yes, Miss President. We met the other day.
I turn towards the voice and see a familiar woman in a blue dress. Elizabeth. She gave me a word of caution during yesterday's battle when I had been turning my eyes away from my true self. This is an unexpected reunion with the person who appeared before me like a storm and left with the same amount of force.
Oh, hi. Thanks a bunch for back then. I didn't get to thank you properly at the time.
You faced yourself and overcame the ordeal through your strength alone, and the feelings of those at the scene certainly helped as well. Still, my assistance was merely the cake under the ice.
Under the ice? I don't know what that means, but this place is beautiful. Where am I?
This is a world within people's hearts. Since you're here, it's most likely that you are at rest in the real world. Now that you have gained a heart of your own and are nurturing it, I wouldn't be surprised if you were to wander here at times.
That all sounds pretty complicated. What are you doing here, Elizabeth?
To put it as Frank would, it is a secret. But if there was something I could say about it, I am yearning for an unseen power.
Huh? You want power too? Even though you're insanely strong already?
Oh, all this talk of power has reminded me of something. It seems you have obtained a new power through that battle earlier. I do not mean to be rude, but my adorable personality cannot restrain my infinite curiosity for such things. Would you show it to me?
Huh? Wait. Hey, hold on now. Are you saying you want to fight me right this minute?
My, how could I have forgotten? A boisterous brawl in this place would certainly not be elegant.
I'm not talking about where we are.
Worry not. I will prepare a worthy stage at once.
Wait, you'll what? Huh?
She flips open the book with a fluid motion. As she does, a blue circle draws itself into the air and the scenery around us changes. So I have to transform me too, yeah.
This place.
Why here? The tranquil ocean-like area changes into a familiar place. This is the announcement room at the school that I had created. Beyond the glass of this red-stained room hang the corpses of my sisters I had destroyed with my own hands. I feel a lump in my throat as the memories come back to me. I look down and see my body has returned to its cold, white, metallic one. This is my true form.
Oh, are you a bit shaken? My apologies, but it seems we're being pressed for time.
Before I can sort out my emotions, the aura I feel from Elizabeth begins to intensify. She's coming.
Without further ado, here I come. Your fate is in the cards.
Alright. I hope I still remember how to play Labris. It's been a long while. All I know is that she has a hook shot, she has some range attacks with her persona, and she has her backhand attack. Okay.
Oh my, impressive.
Oh no, this is the extent of it.
Oh my, impressive.
Oh no, impressive.
From this oh my, impressive. Impressive. That was close.
Yes.
Looks like you need punishing.
Dead. Look at... Did you see the way she was sitting? She was like, yeah, okay. She's like, yeah, that did no damage.
Well done. I have indeed witnessed the power you have acquired.
While I was preoccupied with fighting Elizabeth, I remember something. This is the place where I faced myself and gained something precious and irreplaceable. Yuku and Mitsudo and all the others, I imagine their faces caused a mysterious strength to well up from within me.
Have I gotten stronger?
She smiles. She calmly returns to the conversation we had been having.
Whether you can accomplish your wish and your heartfelt promise is up to you. If you can't do it, no one else will be able to do it for you. But from a different perspective, that means that anything is possible depending on you. Don't you think it could be perceived that way?
If I do it.
That is correct. Though, it would be most important to prioritize overcoming the ordeal that is coming your way.
Huh? What ordeal? Isn't this just a dream?
The ordeal that has made itself known quite close by. I bid you good luck.
Wait, hold on! What's this ordeal you're talking about? What do you mean?
Oh, time to wake up. The announcement room begins to fade to white and disappears into the distance. I hear a siren-like sound. As if in sync with the siren, Elizabeth begins to grow hazy as well.
Wait! You have to tell me more!
Time to wake up. The alarm's calling. My own voice is lost in the warning sound that crashes over me like waves. I just need to talk to her just a little more. The moments after everything goes white, the laboratory appears in my vision. An ear-piercing wailing sounds fills the air. This is the real world.
Good. You're finally up and running.
Seriously, I am terrible with machines.
I look towards his voice and see an unfamiliar man in a black pinstripe suit. The man looks frustrated as he fumbles with my case, disconnecting the wires leading from the terminals to my body.
So how about it? Can you move?
Who are you?
I'm Kurosawa, a police detective. Oh, do you know what a police detective is?
Kurosawa. I have no memory of this man, but for some reason I recognize his name. This must be information that was inserted into my knowledge database. Beginning personal scan, matching iris and voice print, identified Detective Kurosawa.
Oh, are you with Mitsuru-san and them?
Something like that.
As far as I can find in the database, he seems to be a person who can be trusted. He has a long history of private and public interactions with Mitsuru and the other shadow operatives.
I'll make this quick. There's an emergency. The car that the lady, that Mitsuru Kurijo was in, has gone missing.
Mitsuru-san? What do you mean?
An emergency? She's missing? Only after hearing this do I pause to re-examine my surroundings. Siren must be in response to these ongoing events. I'm unable to get a grasp of the situation and only become more confused.
We'll talk later. We need to get to the roof.
As he speaks, Detective Kurosawa tosses me a small bundle. I open it to find the Yasogami High uniform I've been wearing in my dream. Does he want me to wear this? Kurosawa was like, this is imperative for the mission. You must put on the sailor uniform once more. It is the only way that you can regain your power. Though I'm still perplexed, I put on the uniform Detective Kurosawa gave me and follow him as he runs to the stairway. I see that his gun is drawn out as we bound up the stairs. I desperately ask him for the questions boiling in my mind.
Kurosawa-san, are Mitsuru-san and the others okay? Who took them?
Go quietly. We've got to hurry here. We were being pursued too.
Oh right, because at this time, the police are using this as an excuse to investigate the lab. That's why. I'm taken aback for a moment. The shadow operatives may be a part of the National Police Agency, but their existence has been kept hidden for the civilian population. This laboratory's very existence should be hidden from ordinary people, and yet it has been attacked.
Enemies? Hey, I could...
Don't. The ones coming after us are human. On top of that, they're from public safety.
This only confuses me even more. What's going on here? The public safety group are at the very top of the National Police Agency's Security Bureau. They should be on our side. Why would they be coming after us? I bit my lip in fear. I thought that I'd finally met people who understood me, that I finally had a place where I belong. Yet now that I've awakened, I'm being pursued by armed people once more. People who are supposed to be on our side at that. Painful memories of Yakushima return to my mind. I shake my head trying to clear it of these thoughts, but it's not that easy. At that moment, Detective Kurosawa speaks up as if he can see my thoughts and my emotions.
I know it has to be tough, but bear with it. That's how you live, by fighting.
His words snap me out of my reverie. That's right. The world isn't always filled with things like this. There are people who understand me and accept me, and they're all staying right by my side. Had I not made up my own decision to protect these people?
Thanks, Kurosawa-san. Say, want to take a shortcut to the roof?
With that, I pick up Kurosawa-san and run ahead. I'm gonna do everything I can.
Hey, what are you...
I jump and ignite my boosters on my back and then kick off the wall. It's a bit of a rough move, but I've determined that it's our best interest to proceed as quickly as possible in this situation.
Here we go!
Whoa!
Alright, Kurosawa just died of a heart attack. We shot up the staircase to the next landing, where I kicked the wall again to send us flying to the staircase in the opposite direction. I repeat this a number of times, rocketing us up the extremely long staircase and allowing us to reach the door to the rooftop in less than a minute.
You've got some nerve.
Sorry, but...
It's fine. Looks like I can trust you to get things done.
Detective Kurosawa seems pale, but he still stands up and I see the strength of his will in his eyes as he speaks to me.
Well, from here on, this is a battle that only you can fight.
When he opens the door slightly, the chilly air from the outside rushes in through the gap.
I'm putting their lives in your hands.
Kurosawa opens the door fully and the wind whips at us. What, is Kurosawa gonna go John Wick and take out all the public safety?
Go on.
Go now!
Gotcha! Okay! Hikuru-san, let's
Wait, what? This...
Looks like we managed to get away.
I thought the lab that Labrys was in a remote area, but no, it's in a metropolis. Like it was surrounded by other skyscrapers and buildings. Okay, interesting. Also, rest in peace, Kurosawa. He's about to get a talking to also. I don't know why he didn't escape with us. Anyways, so Labrys was the last one to get picked up. So they picked up Yukari, then Ken, then Labrys, and then they couldn't get into contact with Junpei.
We got out in time. It's nice to meet you, Labrys. I'm Yukari Takiba.
Oh, yes. I'm Kanemata. Wow, so it's true that you're like Aigus-san. Oh, and this is Koromaru. Huh? A dog? He's not just a pet. Koromaru might not look like it, but he can fight as well.
Beginning personnel scans, everyone on this helicopter seems to be a member of the Shadow Operatives. According to the new data I was given during my repairs, they are all Mitsuru's friends since high school. These people are all comrades who have fought alongside Mitsuru-san.
Takeba-san? You're dressed in a kinda interesting way.
Huh? Oh, this? Yeah, I got picked up suddenly for my job, and I didn't have any time to change. I bet I'm never gonna hear the end of this. Also, you can just call me Yukari. I hope we get along, Labrys.
But to think that organization would come after us now at such an important time. If Kurosawa-san hadn't gotten that tip, we'd be doomed.
Hey, right. What's going on with those guys? Who are they again? Public safety?
Oh, that's right. You don't know.
Ken politely explains the situation to me. Some people in the public safety department don't think well of the Shadow Operatives. When Mitsuru and the others went missing, public safety took advantage of this confusion and attempted to take control over the Shadow Operatives' headquarters. They've been trying to remove Mitsuru from her position and showed up at the lab in an attempt to confiscate me for evidence. To move this quickly after she disappeared, though, public safety must have some way of knowing what's going on with Shadow Operatives. I see.
They say Mitsuru-san set everything up. She would never.
Unless...
I can't understand it either. All this about honor and adult circumstances is foolish.
Yeah, but there are some people in public safety who don't agree with that. Or else Kurosawa-san wouldn't have gotten that anonymous tip.
Oh, that reminds me. I wonder if Kurosawa-san's okay.
Koromaru says that he's alright.
Huh? Can you understand dogs too, Yukari-san?
Well, no, but I've known Koromaru for a while, and that just seems like what he's saying. I'm sure Kurosawa-san will be just fine.
His white fur reminds me of something. Snowy. My friend who I met on that southern island. I can tell Yukari's words that all the people here in this helicopter know each other very well.
So where are we going now anyway? We're gonna go look for Mitsuru-san and them, right?
Right. It looks like there was an increased shadow reading someplace called Inaba, and they were headed there. We'll go that way for now.
Inaba.
That's right. This could be a continuation of the events from yesterday, an ordeal. Elizabeth's words from that dream echo in my mind.
Don't look so gloomy. I'm sure Mitsuru-senpai's fine. She's got Akihiko-senpai, Fuka, and even Aigus with her after all. Oh, right. You're Aigus' sister, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. I was made just before her, though.
You seem so stiff. You don't need to be so polite with us.
I heard that you were an earlier model than Aigus-san, but you don't seem less advanced at all. You seem perfectly normal. Do you fight with that axe you're carrying? Could I touch it?
The two of them are interacting with me quite normally, even though they know I'm a machine. Even though they must know what happened in Inaba and about my past. That acceptance makes me happy. Koromaru is gazing intently at me too.
Yukari-san, have you been able to make contact with Iori-san?
A voice from the cockpit interrupts us. Kikuno, Mitsuru-san's maid, is in the pilot seat. She seems demure, but if she can pilot a helicopter like this, her skills seem to know no limits. I've been told that Kikuno isn't a persona user. Isn't it dangerous for her to come with us in a situation like this?
I completely forgot. Hold on a sec.
Yukari pulls out her cell phone. It seems that they are trying to meet with Junpei Iori, another part-time shadow operative, and also a fellow comrade since high school. When Yukari's on the phone, I decide to ask Kikuno about the doubts I have.
Saikawa-san, you're not a persona user, are you?
Please call me Kikuno. And no, I only have the potential towards the dark hour.
Oh, I didn't know you had that. Even the maids in the Kirijo family are amazing. So that means you can't fight shadows, right? Then ain't it dangerous for you to come along?
If I have the correct info, then the grotesque monsters known as shadows, our enemies, can only be defeated by people who can use personas. In other words, since Kikuno is an ordinary human, she could never defeat a shadow, even if she was the most proficient warrior in the world. If she ever encountered a shadow on her own, Kikuno would face immediate death. Yet she smiles warmly as she answers me.
There are more ways to deal with shadows than the direct method. We've never met in person, but I was involved in the operation to rescue you last time. We all do whatever we can to the best of our abilities to fulfill the roles we've been given. That is what it means to fight.
Wow, she's a true professional.
To be honest, I don't understand. True, Kikuno-san is helping us by piloting the helicopter. If that's all it took, then somebody could easily program me with the ability to fly the helicopter, and there would be no need for Kikuno to be exposed to the danger of having to join this operation.
I'd see.
Yeah, but then who would drive the helicopter before you got here then? I can't think of any other words to say as I look away from her. I end up meeting Ken-kun's eyes, and I feel a little awkward.
It's no use, he's not picking up. This is so important. Why now?
Yukari-san puts down her phone and turns to us again. Everyone's attention returns to getting up to speed on the current situation.
Oh well. We'll just have to begin our search on our own.
You know, Kikuno-san, I'm surprised you knew where we were without having to contact us at all.
I traced the GPS signals from your cell phones. We're still partners with the police force, so it's no problem to do that in an emergency. Then again, we've just seen how even that doesn't always help.
You mean about Junpei-san?
Yeah, well, that's because his phone's flippin' dead, right?
It's like he's going out of his way to inconvenience us.
Maybe he changed cell phone carriers? Yukari-san sighs with an exasperated expression. As I reflect that this Junpei-san appears to be something of an odd person, Kikuno taps her armrest as if remembering something.
Oh dear, I almost forgot. Labra-san, please review these documents until we arrive at our destination.
With that, Kikuno hands me a folder.
Fuka-san asked me to tell you about this, but under the circumstances, would you please look through the material on your own?
As I flip through the documents in the thick file, I notice that certain names appear again and again. Mitsuru, Akihiko, and the names of everyone here. What is this?
It's a summary of the activities that took place 3 years ago.
3 years ago? You must mean... I see. Whoever's behind what's going on is definitely connected to those events.
3 years ago refers to the incident leading to Mitsuru-san and the rest meeting one another. I haven't had the chance to go over it in detail, but supposedly it's the case that became the impetus of Mitsuru-san to establish the Shadow Operatives, and the bonds that they have formed among each other. They were nurtured through the battles that took part in back then. Such deep connections look radiant in my eyes. I decide that it's important that I learn more about what happened then, as important as learning about who or whatever is behind the events going on now. If I just wanted info on it, I could easily just transfer that data directly into my memory. By actively reading it like this, I will be able to understand what happened. Her thoughtfulness of treating me the same as a person makes me happy. Kikuno glances at me once more and nods slightly as if in approval.
I think it looks good on you. A proper appearance is important when going out on a grand stage.
Does she mean that uniform I'm wearing? Oh, I get it. She must have been the one who prepared the Yasogami uniform that Kurosawa gave me. Her sudden compliment is a little embarrassing, but I can't help but smile. I mean, this uniform to me is proof of my connection to Yukun and his friends.
Thanks!
Kikuno reacts to it as a small smile, then produces some other items.
Yukari-san, Ken-san, I have acquired evokers and suitable weapons for you.
Okay.
Wow, thank you! This would be the best for me.
Alright, yeah, Ken now has a Naginata. He takes a spear from Kikuno as it sits back with a satisfied expression. The spear is longer than Ken-kun is tall, but he seems confident. Wouldn't such a weapon be too unwieldy for him to handle?
Kikuno-san, what is this?
Oh, it's a Featherman bow. She hands Yukari what appears to be a large pink bow that perfectly matches the suit she's wearing. Upon seeing it, Yukari looks baffled.
It's the ultimate arrow! It's so pink.
I acquired reference material from the publisher and had it made. Don't worry, it's more functional than the prop on your show.
I'm pretty sure that makes it the best bow ever created, but...
In actual combat, I thought that using a form factor you're comfortable with would be best.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you to have a logical explanation like that.
Was my arrangement unnecessary?
Yeah, it was unnecessary. No, it's fine.
I like it. Can I see it for a moment?
As Ken reaches towards the bow with interest, I sense the helicopter tilt slightly to the
We're
side.
circling around. Please hang on to something.
The helicopter leans more sharply as Kikuno speaks. It seems that we need to take on more fuel before we can reach Inaba. I reflect on Elizabeth's words as I look down on the view spreading out below us. It reminds me of that mysterious sea-like place. Yakushima. The air in the helicopter is heavy. Upon reaching the last place in known location of Mitsuru and the others, we immediately see that the guardrail is broken as if a car has smashed through it. We look down the cliff and discover a black vehicle below, unmistakably Mitsuru's limousine. There are no skid marks on the road that indicate braking, and the car's body was seriously damaged. It appears that it has been going at a very high rate of speed when it hit the barrier. Everyone paled in an instant, and we were all at a loss of words. But the driver was the only person in the vehicle, and though he was injured, there were no traces of blood from anyone other than him in the car. We wondered for a moment if the others had been able to leave the vehicle on their own, but if they had, they would have tried to contact us. It also seems odd that they left an unconscious and injured man behind. Furthermore, there were no footprints around the vehicle at all. We did another search for their GPS signal, but there were no signs of their whereabouts. That left us with only one conclusion.
I need to think about it. But does this mean that they've been captured?
Let us be optimistic and assume that they're still alive. If they were captured, then the enemy values their lives and will do no harm. We do have a chance.
Carry the injured driver from the bottom of the cliff back to the road. Yukino requested a vehicle to transport him to the hospital under the Kirijo's family care. Yukino made this decision since we wouldn't have been able to explain what happened to a normal ambulance. Also, it's possible that the people from public safety would take him away if we'd reported this to the authorities. She asked that the personnel who arrived with the transport to try to ask the driver about what happened when he regained consciousness. That will likely be difficult, however. If this is similar to what happened last time, the driver would have no memories of the events, much like the people who captured me and transported me to Inaba last time. However, there's no guarantee that the same had happened to the limousine driver. Not long after, we were back in the helicopter, which takes us to where we are now. To be honest, everyone's at a loss about how bad the situation is. Ken-kun tries to change the topic in an attempt to divert us from our worries.
It's amazing that you know how to pilot a helicopter, Kikuno-san. I heard that it's hard to hover in the mountains. Did you train for that?
Only a couple of years ago, but I have taken part in an assault operation involving a helicopter.
You were in an assault with a helicopter? Where?
Just a high school dormitory.
Just a high school dormitory.
Huh?
I don't remember this.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
What?
I decided to learn how to pilot in the event that if someone attempted the same move, I would be able to respond properly.
High school dormitory. When did a helicopter fly to Gekkoukan? I don't remember this. I don't remember this happening in P3P. My understanding has been renewed. It seems that being a maid is a very serious and very difficult occupation.
Oh, damn! Well, I finally got in touch with Junpei. I don't know why, but he's already at Yaso Inaba Station, so I told him to stay there. In any case, we should head to Inaba too. We might find some kind of clue there.
Mitsudu-san's group has gone missing before sunset, and it's about midnight now.
Whoever did this must be the same person who kidnapped Labra-san. It's unthinkable anyone else would be able to do that. The question is what he intends to accomplish by kidnapping them.
Ken flips through the reports on the events of the case up until now, seemingly lost in thought. What is to be gained by kidnapping Mitsudu-san this time? At that moment, heavy static flickers across the video displays within the helicopter. Oh, even the P1 Grand Prix over here?
The strong win, while the weak disappear. Tonight, we will witness
I'll let this show, even though this is a repeat, because we haven't seen this since the first episode where I played the wrong story.
To descend upon the ring. P1 fans, are you ready? Are you ready?
Time to let loose an all-out war!
The contestants in the previous P1 Grand Prix have returned for another tournament, right on the heels of the last one. These warriors will create another legend here at the world-shattering P1 Ring! These are battles of honor, battles of will. Sparks will fly. Some fight for pride, some fight for glory. Will this be decided by pure muscle, or will a battle of wits determine the outcome? Things are heating up! Tonight, who will win the title of champion? Who will be crowned with the winner's wreath? Whose tale of glory will resound for generations? All that remains are the dreams of the warriors. As the Grand Prix plunges into its final chapter, the P1 climax is...
barely getting started!
Hey, what was that just now? Weren't those the Persona users in Inaba? It showed Mitsuru-senpai and the others, too.
I read the case records. If I recall correctly, was that the Midnight Channel that was being broadcast in Inaba? I was on it too, but it wasn't like that last time.
All of us in the helicopter are utterly confused. Who would broadcast something like that and why? The P1 climax is obviously a continuation of the fighting tournament. Suddenly the monitor switches to another feed.
Yoo-hoo! Have you been well, Labi-chan?
General Teddy? But I thought I already...
General Teddy, in this recent P1 Grand Prix, the one calling itself General Teddy turned out to be my own shadow. But I accepted my shadow and gained the power to use a persona. But if he's on the screen again, then General Teddy ignores my confusion and continues.
There's no way I'd go away so easily. I mean, a P1 without me is like a tuna sandwich without the tuna.
He can hear us? Isn't he that weird Persona user named Teddy?
No, he must be the General Teddy who hosted the fighting tournament last time. The record said he'd been eliminated, though. General Teddy, where did you take Mitsuru-san and the others? If you don't give us a good answer, you're gonna pay!
It's past your bedtime, Cubby. If you're gonna keep giving me lip, I'm not going to explain anything.
Explain?
That's right. I mean, the three of you are very important guest stars in the P1 climax, after all. So you'll participate, of course, right?
What? What are you after?
If you value the lives of the hostages, you yapping pup, you don't have any choice but to participate.
Huh?
The P1 climax. It's the end of the world. One-on-one death match that's worthy of the name Climax. And best of all, if you don't win the one-on-one tournament to the finish within the hour, the world will end. No punches pulled this time. I'll make myself clear so that no one misunderstands. This will not be taking place within the TV world. It will, in fact, take place in the reality which you occupy. Enjoy it while you can. Alrighty then. Time to show off how that special stage is going.
The video feed switches to something else. We've seen that already too.
Was that Mitsuru-senpai?
Sanada-san, Aiga-san, and Fuka-san too!
What will be the fate of our captured queen and her loyal minions? Oh, and this is a no-fly zone. We don't have any room in the parking lot for that thing, so you'd better start walking to the battleground. As a little incentive, Persona! Kintoki Doji! Throw him a tomahawk!
Well, that's not good. With that last command from General Teddy, the monitor turns off. After a moment of silence, Kikuno shouts from the cockpit.
An alarm? No. There really is a missile coming our way. Evasive maneuvers. Brace yourselves.
A missile?
As soon as Kikuno shouts, the helicopter makes a sharp turn and we're all thrown to the side. There's a deafening roar. The helicopter shakes madly but recovers.
Are we hit? It barely missed, but there's a good chance that it will still detonate.
It exploded! Wait, it's a firework?
A Teddy firework. In the moments after the explosion, General Teddy's face is drawn in the night sky with colorful sparks. He even managed to capture his image, taunting us with his tongue sticking out.
He obviously missed on purpose. It was most likely fired from the direction of Inaba.
That is not funny at all! Is he trying to start a war or something? Wait, what is that?
There's something in the distance. It's huge!
Yukari points towards the shape of a gigantic building stretching towards the sky. Oh, it's going to show it. Something red is writhing around the bizarre structure, trying to envelop the town below it. It's red fog.
I'll zoom in.
Kikuno adjusts the monitor that has just been displaying General Teddy's laughing face to show us the enormous structure up ahead. I notice Yukari and Ken both tense up as they catch sight of it.
No way. This is just like
Tartarus.
Searching data for Tartarus, results found. A labyrinth that only appears during the dark hour and a breeding ground for shadows. It was also a place where a powerful being was going to descend upon the world to bring about destruction. The documents in my hand have a page dedicated to it as well. What I read there confounds me. 3 years ago when Mitsuno and her companions were in high school, something happened there. All I can gather is that they fought desperately in a tower called Tartarus that resembles the one outside. As the red fog grows thicker, the building that Ken and Yukari refer to as Tartarus begins to disappear from our view.
I'm sorry to do this, but I have to withdraw before we're shot down.
But we've come so far!
If they fire another one at us, I won't be able to dodge again. Even if it's only a firework, a direct hit can still bring us down.
Hold on, Kikuno-san. Can you drop low enough somewhere so we can get out?
There's no way. If we land, we'll be sitting ducks.
No, once we're out, you get out of here. You don't need to land.
What are you saying?
Please, do it! Don't worry. Remember, General Teddy asked us to come on foot. We'll manage somehow.
Understood. I'm looking for a landing site. There appears to be a large shopping center nearby.
While dodging explosions from missiles flying mercilessly towards us, the helicopter nosedives, plunging us towards the ground as we move closer to Inaba.
Labra-san, please take this. It may be of use. It contains the data that was taken from the Ergonomics Research Laboratory's top-secret files. The creator's name is Shuji Ikutsuki.
I thought she just handed her a stick of RAM or something. But no, it's a SSD, that's what it is. Shuji Ikutsuki, the name was also in the documents that Kikuno had given me. He betrayed Mitsu to the last moment 3 years ago and revealed itself as the enemy. Ever since the death of Koetsu Kirijo, the patriarch of the Kirijo family, 2 generations ago, this man took the lead in all of the terrible events relating to the shadows. This is how dangerous this man is, but the document also says that Ikutsuki took his own life.
The file name was Project Puppet Master. I'm not entirely sure if that's a code or a description of the project.
Puppet Master? Could that be something to do with me and Aigis?
I was only able to decrypt a portion of it, but it seems to be data on an experiment involving a plume of dusk.
An experiment with a plume of dusk. So, why are you giving this to me?
It may assist you in determining the enemy's identity. Actually, I found traces of an unauthorized attempt to access this file from outside of the Ergo Research Network. I investigated this and found that the requests made to break in originated from this vicinity, likely from within Inaba itself.
Huh? So someone in Inaba knew about that research before all this started and was looking for it?
Kikuno-san nods silently. Okay, that's new info. Of all the files of the quarantine server to go after, if this one was specifically targeted, then the hacker must at least have known of its presence there. The cyber attacks wasn't done by some ordinary hacker who broke into the server and was looking around out of curiosity, which means that the hacker is probably either the culprit himself or someone connected to them.
The firewall prevented the intruder from accessing the file, but the attempted hacker didn't even try to cover their tracks.
What? Who would do this?
The hacker didn't even attempt to cover their access to the server. Could this mean that they wanted someone to know about the existence of the file, even if they failed to access it? It doesn't make any sense. Putting aside whatever doubts we have, Kikuno Kikuno-san continues
It
on.
was only in fragments, but the name Sho Minazuki appears many times in those files.
Oh, that's who it's supposed to be, okay.
Who is he?
So he was an Inaba before? I don't know that name. Could that person be the culprit? At the very least, there's no mistaking that this person is deeply related to the case.
I'll contact you once we crack the encryption, but in case it becomes difficult to transfer the data to you, I'll give you a copy.
Then I'll download that data into myself and take a look at the parts that you've managed to decrypt.
That would be for the best.
Gotcha.
Kikuno hands me the memory card. I insert it into my memory slot and save the data on it into my internal memory. Just as she says, most of its experiments records, one file remains that cannot be read. Project Puppet Master, what's in that file? You need the password.
We'll be over at Junes Shopping Center in a moment. Everyone, prepare to disembark.
Hold on, over there. Isn't there someone on the rooftop?
We all peer into the distance. Beyond the haze of the red fog is Inaba's largest shopping center. My search reveals that the place belongs to a chain named Junes. A blurry figure can vaguely be seen on the roof. Oh, is it Rise? Yukun? For a moment I think of someone I know well, but the height and physique of the shape of the roof doesn't resemble anyone I know. Ken-kun raises a pair of binoculars and attempts to make out the figure's face, or Junpei, because he's there. What?
That's impossible!
Him?
Huh? What's wrong?
It's... Ikutsuki.
He had a twin.
Huh? No way!
Shuji Ikutsuki, the name leaves me at a loss for words. Perhaps he is mistaken. I open the side door of the helicopter and a strong gust of wind blows in. I ignore the wind and lean out to get a better look at the person on the roof. Did we just get hit? The helicopter is suddenly attacked from an unexpected direction and the vehicle sways alarmingly. That wasn't another missile. If I look again, I see another shape standing near the figure on the rooftop. I knew it.
Under attack by a persona!
That doesn't make any sense. According to the records, Shuji Ikutsuki was never able to use a persona. Is that man on the roof truly this Ikutsuki person?
The enemy's preparing for another attack. Incoming!
Before I can raise an objection, Yukari fixes her eyes on the enemy and draws her evoker. As expected from someone who has been in actual combat for the first year, she is quick to act. For a whole year.
Persona!
His finger flexes around the trigger of her evoker, but in the instant before she pulls it, Yukari's persona appears, created a whirlwind around the helicopter that repels the attacker.
What? I didn't even use my evoker yet.
Seeing Yukari so bewildered sends a chill down my spine. Being able to summon a persona without the necessary tool to aid in summoning. Mitsuru and Akihiko reported a similar unpleasant experience when inside the TV world. This isn't inside the TV world, and outlandish and threatening as this situation is, there is no doubt that we're in the real world. General Teddy's words come back to me.
I'll make myself clear so that no one misunderstands. This will not be taking place within the TV world.
We're in a flashback, but I can still hear the helicopter.
It will, in fact, take place in the reality which you occupy. Enjoy it while you can.
Don't tell me this fog that's enveloping the town is the same fog on the other side of the TV.
This is fun. What was that?
A new voice suddenly reaches my ears. Who was that? I look around in bewilderment. Did anyone actually talk? Am I hearing things? Ken snaps me out of my thoughts.
Yukari-san, he's winding up for another one! We're getting off, Koromaru!
Yukari still looks confused, but Ken notices something and unbuckles a seatbelt with his spear at the ready. By this time, the helicopter has descended close enough to the rooftop that people and dogs can easily jump down. And dogs. Koromaru growls and another persona appears. At the same time, Ken leaps out of the cabin, stabbing at the enemy persona closing in on us. Koromaru's persona and Ken's spear both hit the attacking enemy at the same time, and Ken drops to the roof unharmed.
It seems you're always taking on the responsibility of saving others, Yukari-san.
Seriously, it's like, again? Really? But I'll take this one. After all, I save the world on a weekly basis.
Every Saturday morning, Koromaru-san and Yukari drop out of the helicopter and nimbly land on the roof. Amazing, their combat abilities are equal to those of weapons like me or Aegis, even though they are secondary members of the Shadow Operatives, used only in times of emergency. It seems as if they've been on the team this entire time. I quickly ready my axe and follow them.
Yukari-san, everyone, please, save Lady Mitsuru.
So, like, what happened to Shadow Ikutsuki? Is he still there? When I look back up to the red sky after landing, I see the helicopter gaining in altitude while maintaining its balance. Thanks to Kikuno-san's desperate resolve and her piloting skills, we managed to safely reach Inaba. Right, and this is where Naoto is, canonically. I check my surroundings once more while praying for Kikuno-san's safety. This is the Inaba branch of Junes, the department store chain. We're at the food court on its rooftop. Normally there would be plenty of people here, but given the current situation, it's obviously deserted.
Where did he go?
Ken readies his spear and tries to peer into the fog, making visibility such a problem. I look around, ready for battle as well. Whoever attacked us should be nearby.
Hey, Ken-kun, did you really see Ikutsuki here a moment ago?
Yes. I didn't see him clearly, but there's no way I could have mistaken him.
That's impossible. I mean, Shuji Ikutsuki is...
That's right, he died 3 years ago. When we were just attacked by a persona, according to the records from that time, he had no persona.
At the very least, it looks like he's not nearby. We can't let our guard down yet, though.
She's right, I scanned the area and read no one else here besides the four of us. I say as much as we lower our guards in order to discuss our strategy.
Koromaru and I are going to continue looking for him. If that really was Ikutsuki, there's no doubt that he's involved in this case.
That's true. Can you and Koro-chan go after that guy from earlier?
But that person seemed to be using a persona. Won't it be dangerous for you two going off on your own?
The two humans looked surprised for a moment and traded glances. Did I say something odd?
Don't you worry about me and Koromaru. Even if we run into something we can't defeat, we'll find a way out of it.
And honestly, it's faster for us to split up. I am a bit worried, but I'm gonna believe in you guys.
They have absolute faith in each other after having fought together for so long. It's not that they don't have concerns about one another, but they truly believe that they will accomplish their goals on their own. I wonder will these people ever feel the same way about me? After all this time, I realize how the time shared between Yukari and Ken separates me from my companions.
So I'll head to the station and get Junpei. It didn't seem like he'd figured out the situation yet.
Huh? Weren't you talking to him on the phone earlier?
I was, but that idiot's phone ran out of batteries or something while we were still talking. But even if I can't rely on him to keep his phone charged, he's still good in a fight. So I have to meet up with him.
I see. He seems like kind of a goofball.
Right? He's always been so useless. Huh? Did I say something funny?
Nah, not really. It just sounded like you were actually kind of fond of him.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, those two have been friends before the MC even arrived on Tatsumi Port Island. They're like old friends. These people trust each other and they're always thinking of one another. When one of them faces danger, the other always rushes to help them. A term comes to mind, ideal companions. I wonder how Yukun and his friends are doing. I have the feeling that this group and Mitsuru's group are going through similar problems after all.
What about you, Labras? What'll you do?
Huh?
I hope Mitsuru-san and the others are okay. Could you please go right to that tower? We'll head over there too as soon as we can.
Yukari and Ken look to me. It doesn't matter to them that I haven't known them for very long. They see me as a companion and trust me.
Right! It's decided then. Labras, you head to that tower. Oh, also, something felt off when I summoned my persona earlier. You might want to be careful.
You felt it too? It was like, well, it felt like the evoker wasn't working, didn't it?
Yeah, it might be that we can summon our personas without our evokers.
In any case, we should get moving. If what General Teddy said is true, we don't have much time to spare.
Got it. If anything happens, let's meet at the bottom of the tower. Be careful, both of you.
Yukari and I leave Ken on the roof and head for the stairs. She and I split up not too long after, all of us firmly believing that we'll see each other safely once more.
Wait for us, Mitsuru-san.
I ran at my full speed and turned my eyes towards the looming tower. I will rescue her. Interesting. Okay, so Naoto did not appear on the rooftop this time. The story is a bit different. Okay, and I wasn't expecting Labras' story to go on for that long either. Heading to Enid. What? Margaret? What the heck? Margaret gets her own story? Okay, I guess I gotta head back into training mode next time, which is actually perfect because I'm gonna do that right now, in fact. Alright, this ends the first episode of episode P3. When we get back, we will start off with Margaret's story, in which I will showcase you her abilities.